Hey guys, it's B Scott. Welcome to another episode of Ride Along. I'm here with B-Man.
What up, guys? It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, so there's a little bit to talk about in the wrestling world. So, do we want to start with Raw, or do we just want to go right into the...
Well, let's start by saying that for the first time since 2002...
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, WWE is bringing a pay-per-view to the Rogers Center, aka Sky Dome. Heck, it wasn't even called the Rogers Center, but that's how long it's been.
Yeah, crazy.
It's been the Rogers Center longer than it's been the Sky Dome, that's for sure.
Let's see how much ticket prices are.
Probably insane. I mean, I know you were saying to me on the way here, we just came back from Nebs, by the way.
Which we'll be talking about in a bit.
Yeah. You said to me on the way here that VIP just for the 500 level was $500.
That's what a friend of mine was telling me, yeah.
So that's alone is insane. But I'd imagine probably the 100 level is probably gonna be like 100, or the 500 level is probably gonna be like $100 or something. I would imagine.
Apparently the rumor is, it is kind of obvious, if it does well, they're probably going to bring a Mania here, because that would be the only...
I would hope so, but at the same time, it's going to be damn near impossible to get a ticket.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus,
but
it's
you know
be
what, there
really
are always going to
expensive.
be those diehards, and you also have to understand that people come from all over the world for WrestleMania.
Exactly my point. So it's going to be nearly impossible to get a ticket.
So they're not actually relying on the Canadian people to buy the ticket. They want the international people.
Yeah, but they definitely would help their sales. Have you heard how expensive the prices are for the Mania this coming year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can only hope that's just because it's there in Las Vegas, but
if you think about it, that's only the both nights of WrestleMania. There's so much more. There's like the fan expo thing they do. I don't know what it's called. There's the
WrestleMania Access.
Yeah, Raw and SmackDown. There's the Hall of Fame. There's all these different things, right?
NXT, yeah.
So, like, it's very expensive.
Oh yeah, especially if you want to go to all the different shows.
Which I would want to, yes.
And then that's not even counting the indies.
Yeah.
What else? So as far as Elimination Chamber goes, I personally, here's my take on it. It's like, it's cool and it's great that they're finally going back to the Dome after all these years, but I'm one of those people who not necessarily, like, whenever there's like a match involving a cage in any capacity, I'm not all that thrilled about it because of the fact that it's hard. Granted, it's the chamber, the gaps in the chains are obviously going to be a lot wider, but I'm not that thrilled because it's not that easy to see, especially if you're like way up in the nosebleeds. Yeah. I can imagine it'd be damn near impossible. Now, I know the pay-per-view isn't all about the chamber. There's going to be other matches, but that's the main attraction, right? That's why people are going to be going to see the Elimination Chamber match itself.
Yeah.
So, and they're going to obviously have two. They're going to have a men's and a women's. Speaking of which, did you notice like how late the pay-per-views are going next year? Because we got Royal Rumble for the first time ever in February 1st.
Yeah.
Got the Elimination Chamber on March 1st. And the WrestleMania is April, I think, 19th and 20th. Or 20th, 21st, something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I mean, it makes you wonder, like, wow, why are they... Well, Backlash could be, what, June, probably? That's crazy. But yeah, so I guess let's talk about what happened this past week on Raw and SmackDown. Well, as we're recording, SmackDown's currently live. But I'm interested to see what happens. Like, they're making me really excited to see what happens with this whole New Day 10th anniversary thing coming up, because they've been teasing serious heat between Kofi and Woods.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
So, like, are they gonna... I'd imagine they're going to break them up, which kind of, I mean, I think it's long past time if they were going to do it, but at the same time, that's always what they do, is they split up teams. Like, literally, like, name me one tag team in WWE that's lasted nearly as long as Kofi and Xavier, not counting the Usos, because they're like brothers, or they're the Hardys, but even then, they've had their splits and their breakups, and then they come back together. So it's so weird to me, like, why split them? And then, like, you split them up, and then you have them go to singles. Maybe they feud with each other for a little while, and then after that, what happens? Nothing usually. Like 9 times out of 10, you don't do anything with them. So that's why when somebody says, "Oh, so and so should split off from the tag team and go singles," I'm like, I'm not so sure that's a good idea. Just given the track history. I mean, it's Triple H, so maybe it could work, but so we've got so far for Survivor Series, we got the one War Games match was the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline, and then we've got the World Heavyweight title, Gunther versus Priest. And what I find interesting is the story they're trying to tell with Gunther, because up until now he's been like this cool, level-headed badass, right? It's just like, doesn't care. He'll just beat your ass. But after his loss to Cody and leading up to this match with Priest, he just seems kind of, I don't know, he seems different. Like there's something off about him.
He seems more of a face, but have you noticed what's going on with
he seems more scared. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Maybe a possible disbandment there.
He seems more scared than it. Not maybe.
I mean, he's acting a lot more respectful. Like we've seen that as well at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, that's what's so weird about it. He's a heel.
Yeah.
Like heels aren't supposed to do that shit. He's been a classic heel since he joined the WWE. Like what 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
And then now he's like almost like what they call a chicken shit heel.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on. I guess we'll see. I'll give Triple H a little more time to I'll let him cook, as the kids say. Yeah, I'm getting ancient now. I don't know. We'll see how it pans out, I suppose. What else is going on? So we have a couple of number one contenders things happening. So Io Sky is going to be challenging Liv Morgan since Rhea Ripley got injured again. I think her orbital bone or something. They said orbital fracture. So she's out for God knows how long. Which I guess is fine. Give other people a chance to step up and be able to do more. And then you got also on Raw, you got the tag titles. You got the Judgment Day going to be going up against they're finally calling the Ward Raiders again. That's crazy. So they called their finisher the Viking. I think they called the Viking Experience or something still. I can't remember. I forget what they're calling it. No, they're calling it War Machine. I think that's what they're calling it. Anyway, so that's cool. But speaking of going back to the women's thing, did you see they added the women's U.S. title? Yeah, it was on SmackDown last week. So that's going to be, I wonder who the first champion's going to be. Quick prediction, who do you think should be the first women's United States champion?
Out of all the women, what's going up there?
I have no idea.
Sorry, give me a minute.
Yeah, this is...
All the women.
I think it's setting up for something, obviously, or some kind of festival or something.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should come back and check it out later. Well, actually, I should tell you just... they haven't announced the Women's Intercontinental Championship yet. So it might be looking like this Women's U.S. title is just going to be like a cross-brand thing.
Who do I think? Nia Jax.
Well, she's already the Women's WWE Champion, so they're not going to have her. Oh, they wouldn't have her win both titles.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
See, I'm going to say it might be either Chelsea Green or possibly Michin, or maybe you know who they could give it to? They could give it if she came back on time. They could give it to Asuka.
That's true.
I think she'd make a great first ever women's U.S. champion. But honestly, the whole thing itself, I'm not a fan of, and it's not anything to do with it's the fact that they can't even really hardly book the belts they already have very well. Like the women's tag titles, they're trying. I'll give them that, and they're trying to tell a story with the women's title between Tiffany and Nia. And that's cool and all, but then they don't really do anything with anybody else. And and it's not just on the women's side. The men's tag team titles. I mean, when's the last time Judgment Day defended their belts? What was that? Like a month ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
And then, of course, no, there hasn't been a tag team title match on a pay-per-view since WrestleMania. So that's insane. Also, last time we did a ride along, I remember you mentioned you weren't gonna spoil the results of the tag title match of Motor City Machine Guns, baby, new tag team champions. That's awesome.
Kind of was to be expected.
I guess so, but I mean, it's great. But I mean, it might be too much too soon if you think about it.
I mean, they're rightfully deserved. Like have you heard of their history?
No, I'm well aware of their history. I followed them in TNA back when they were like 2000.
Yeah,
I think
that's why
2008,
they probably
2009.
gave them the titles.
Okay, well, in that case, why didn't they give a title right away to a guy like LA Knight or Joe Hendry?
Well, Joe Hendry's technically not signed yet.
Well, they did give one to Ethan Page. I'll give him that. So, but that was
he never
NXT
went
though. Yeah, well, he was in that Fatal 4-Way, and he.
Well, Joe Hendry technically isn't signed to a contract yet.
Well.
But I guess the Motor City Machine Guns are a legendary tag team, and that's why they did it.
I guess, yeah, you got a point there.
Who do you think is more deserving, though?
DIY.
Okay, but they had a very short reign.
Yeah, and they got because of the bloodline, they should get another title shot.
Right.
But instead, I think this week it's going to be Street Profits versus the Machine Guns for the tag titles.
Right.
Plus, I think Nia is defending her women's title against Naomi, so we'll see how that plans out. I guess I don't see her losing the title. Do you think maybe Tiffany might have cashed in tonight, or is going to cash in?
I'm not too sure.
Tiffany, no. I don't see it happening. I think they're gonna wait for a bigger moment. Maybe. You know what I wish they would do, even though I don't honestly think in a million years they would. As soon as they announce like the thing for the women's U.S. title, they should have Tiffany just like, I want to cash in and become the first ever women's U.S. champion. They've never done that before, you know? I mean, granted, it wouldn't exactly be the best idea in the world, but it might be interesting. So, who knows? What else happened? Anything else happened I'm trying to think about? Well, I didn't. They've already taped this coming week's Raw, so I've been trying to avoid spoilers as
Why
to.
are they pre-taping so much?
Well, that's how Triple H is doing it now, I guess. They used to do it back in the 90s. When
I guess it's like for the schedules of the wrestlers, like if
yeah. Well, I know they want. I think Triple H wants to give them Thanksgiving off, and then when Christmas comes around, he's gonna be pre-taping a lot of shows.
Sorry.
So, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Anyway, I was saying, like, they did it back in the 90s because WWF used to, when they were called WWF, they used to tape like 2 weeks worth of shows sometimes, and then WCW would get those results and they'd read them on Nitro because they wanted to, like, oh, WWF is pre-taped, but we're live, you know? So that's why they did it.
I mean, from a talent perspective, that's good because you can spend a lot more time with your family. And I have heard since Triple H is in charge, talent have a lot more flexibility with their schedule. They can take time off when they need it and stuff like that. So that's a good thing if you're a talent.
And plus, they're not doing as many live events anymore.
I've noticed that. So I guess that's a good thing because honestly, the live events here weren't as good as TV.
Well, I would argue they're actually kind of better because there's no downtime for one thing, and for another, that's where the wrestlers are a lot more free to do like wacky stuff and try new stuff out and everything.
That's true.
So I would argue live events in that respect are better. Overall, quality-wise, they're probably not as good, yes, but I would argue, like I said, there's no downtime between matches. Do match, and then obviously take a break and then match, you know.
That's true.
So, anyway, I think that was pretty much everything I could remember as far as wrestling goes.
So let's get into what we did tonight. So we went to Nebs Fun World, where we've been before. It's like I don't want to call it an amusement park.
I'd say I would say it's an entertainment complex.
Entertainment complex in
kind of like Palladium, yeah.
They added some new rides, as Brandon.
A new ride. Well, no, actually, yeah, 2 new rides. Yeah.
And we finally got to try the 4D ride. So with the 4D
That's already done, by the way.
Sorry?
I've already done that like tons of times.
There at Nebs?
No, just they used to have it when Palladium was in Mississauga. They had that there, and I did that quite a few times.
So as for the 4D ride, one of the
costs
the
85 credits to do, by the way.
You can pick is basically like the clown one, which is actually the one they have in Niagara Falls.
Yeah, the only
And that's
difference
an
is this one
actual
doesn't.
ride.
The only difference is this one doesn't move on a track.
Well, that's what I mean. It's not a ride. Like it's not.
It
a ride
is,
track,
but it is in the sense that the chairs move and everything.
But it's not on the track.
No.
Yeah. So we did the werewolf one, and I pretty enjoyed that.
Yeah, and I owned your ass.
Yeah. Well, no, because at first I didn't have the right gun, and then I grabbed the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, and then there was bowling. But
It's pretty long too. It was nice. Yeah, he didn't want to bowl today.
It was good too. Sorry.
It was nice and long too.
Yeah,
so.
it was like 2 rounds. Like the first one was like a.
It was basically
like a
practice.
round.
Yeah, it was a practice, and then you go into the main one, and that was like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe closer to 5, but yeah, it was fun. There was a new ride there. I think it's called Chrono Z or Chronos or something like that. It was pretty fun. I put the video up on my channel if you want to check out the on-ride POV.
Yeah.
And there wasn't too much else that was new as far as I could tell. I was having I don't know what was wrong with one of the game. Well, I guess you call it a game. It was a racing simulator, Fast and Furious.
Some of the rides some of the games weren't actually working. Like
they weren't. Yeah, that too. But I meant like when I was trying to swipe my card, I was like waiting. I'm like, oh, we couldn't read your card. Try again.
A few of the games weren't even working. Like a few of the Mario.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that too. Yeah. And the problem with that, and then one you couldn't even swipe it, but then some of the chairs weren't working. But overall, I'd say it was pretty fun. We didn't stay all that long, maybe like an hour. So, Beast Guy, you get excited about the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight?
Well, by the time this is over, like it'll have already been over. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
Who do you think is gonna win?
Obviously, Tyson.
Well, who knows, man? It could all. I hear conspiracies that it's all like it's kind of like wrestling in the sense that it's going to be predetermined.
So Jake Paul, everyone's saying, is because he has like the marketers on his team and he's like the social media king and all that. Yes, I could see that because obviously he has the money. Also, if you didn't know, he's also Logan Paul's brother.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
yeah,
one would think that was obvious.
But there's also rumors that the fight is rigged.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And as well, apparently the fight, the slap last night at the weigh-in was rigged.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see how it goes tonight. Either way, they're walking home with a huge paycheck.
Yeah.
And also Tyson's kids actually get to see him fight because like his kids have never seen him fight.
Well, yeah, because he retired in the 90s, right?
So this is another reason why he's doing it.
I don't know. I think it's good entertainment at least.
Of course.
But I'm not a big fan of boxing either way.
Yeah.
And I can't really stand either of the Paul brothers. Especially Logan, that little fucking scumbag. But anyway, that's not really relevant. What else? Anything else?
No, that's it.
Alright. Oh yeah, we were gonna talk about the Miz thing, weren't we?
It's okay. Like, it's not that big a video.
Alright. Well, in that case, I guess you might as well take us home.
Alright, guys, that's it for now. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Peace out.